How's it going, everybody? Today, I want to have a small discussion about anecdotal evidence versus scientifically proven methods of achieving results. Okay, so there are hundreds and thousands of people who are engaging in methods to achieve the same result and experiencing amazing results without science validating their methods. In fact, depending on what we're talking about, there may be a lot of scientific evidence that actually claims that what they're doing could be dangerous, harmful, or just not work at all. This can be plugged into strength training and exercise, right? Like, for example, Vegan Gains versus Chris Jones. Chris Jones is an amazing bodybuilder, which I don't even like bodybuilding, but he's probably the best natural bodybuilder in the world. And he trains hundreds and thousands of people and gives them amazing results, but he does body part splits, which have been scientifically proven to be inefficient compared to full body routines. However, the fact is, hundreds and thousands of people are getting jacked, they're getting muscular, they're getting built, they're getting the results they want using Chris Jones workout methods. But Chris Jones workout methods aren't scientifically validated, according to Vegan Gains. The data just does not support Chris Jones methods. But why is Chris Jones getting such great results, if the scientific data doesn't support it? Well, maybe it's because it's not significant. It doesn't really matter if full body routines are more efficient compared to body part splits. Maybe what matters is you're actually doing the actions that are building up over time and creating the result you want. The same thing and this goes for many different styles of training. You have many Olympic level elite athletic coaches who are using their time tested methods based on hands on experience for hundreds of years working with athletes, or work for decades working with athletes, right? And they train the top level athletic athletes in the world. But their training methods are proven to be bullshit by scientific standards. And there's much science that claims that what they're doing is a waste of time, or it's even potentially dangerous. But the fact is, they're elite level athletic coaches and they're training the top athletes in the world. And there's also hundreds of people who follow the same methods and get amazing results. Why does the scientific data matter? And then, well, of course, they're going to say, oh, because, they're on steroids, or because, average people are not the same as elite athletes. But come on. Really? Like, that's kind of weak. That's like a really weak justification. Maybe you should actually truly, fully develop a logical explanation as to why this is. What about the carnivore diet? Again, I'm not even following the carnivore diet anymore. And I'll make a video on this later on. But there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who are reversing gout, who are reversing autoimmune disease, they're reversing diabetes, they're reversing arthritis, and there's even doctors now on YouTube who are posting their blood work, their blood markers, and showing that their levels of inflammation are virtually zero. Okay, they're going down. And there's studies that show a vegan diet lowers inflammatory markers compared to the standard American diet. And I think the C-reactive protein, for example, was something like a level of 2.0. But on a carnivore diet, I've seen doctors that lowered it below the levels of the vegan diet in scientific papers, compared to a vegan diet at like 2.0 C-reactive protein. There's doctors that lowered it down to 0.3, which means there's virtually no inflammation in the body. The inflammation blood markers go down on a carnivore diet. Okay, and then some people say, well, that's not, it doesn't really matter, blah, blah, blah. You know, that blood marker isn't valid. Okay, well, why are so many people experiencing chronic inflammation and inflammatory diseases, especially the digestive system and joint pain? That's inflammation. That's a hallmark of inflammation right there. How come people are experiencing complete remission of all their inflammatory diseases? Oh, it's a placebo diet. Oh, it's their gut microbiome. Maybe it is. But hundreds and thousands of people are experiencing complete diminishment of their inflammation on a carnivore diet, an all red meat diet. People are reversing gout, whereas it's a common accepted opinion that a heavy red meat diet causes gout. Well, how come people are reversing gout on a red meat diet? And what about vitamin C? You know, the common consensus has always been, oh, you'll get a scurvy, vitamin C deficiency if you just eat red meat. You need fruits and vegetables. How come people are going 2 years without getting scurvy, whereas originally the sailors who got scurvy, it was, you know, in less than a month. It was like within weeks. You know, it's a water-soluble vitamin. To have a deficiency in vitamin C, you should see the symptoms within days. Yet people are going eating red meat. There's people who've done it for over 10 years, 20 years, and they look like they've been reversing aging. So, I mean, these are just examples, okay? You have to be incredibly dogmatic and religious and really just ignorant and arrogant. Like, absolutely. You have to be pretty damn ignorant to completely dismiss the power of anecdotes, especially when it comes in the hundreds and thousands of experiences that are shared among various different people from different ethnic backgrounds, from different countries and places all around the world. Then you have things like meditation. And what about NoFap? You have hundreds and thousands of people, men and women of all ages, who are doing NoFap. And everyone's like, oh, it's a placebo effect, blah, blah, blah. People completely change their life on NoFap. Many people have found that their anxiety, their lack of concentration and ADHD, their depression, their lack of motivation, all completely flipped around and did a 180. They completely cured these issues just by removing pornography and masturbation. And there's a lot of scientific evidence to back all this up too, relating to dopamine pathways and addiction. But people comment on my NoFap videos, oh, there's no scientific evidence. This guy's full of shit. Where's the evidence? Bro, if you Google search for science behind NoFap, you'll find it. You never researched addiction before? How do you not realize like right away that this sounds like classic addiction? It's pretty much the same thing. You're trying to tell me that basically alcoholics, there's no science to support that. So I guess, you know, alcoholics should just continue drinking alcohol, right? It's foolish. It's absolutely foolish. So I'm not saying that science is wrong. I love science. I read studies every day just for fun. But what you should really do is stop using science to justify your bad habits, and stop using science as a religion. And science is probably not the best way to determine guidance for your decisions in life, right? Like, oh, there's no scientific evidence that meditation works, therefore I'm never going to try it. That's foolish. What are you going to do? You're going to die if you sit there quietly in a quiet room for 5 minutes? It's ridiculous. What do you have to lose? How about you try it for yourself, and if it works, how about you look at the science to try to understand why it worked for you? Use science as a tool to figure out why things work. That's what science is all about. Science is not meant to tell you, should you eat a vegan diet? Vegan diet's the best diet. Science is actually meant to help you understand the natural world. And that's why people in strength training, exercise, nutrition, meditation, if they don't do shit because there's not enough scientific evidence, generally they suffer. Use it to help you understand the natural world, not as a tool, a guidance.